I've had an idea for a video, but we may have to take some creative license. The idea that I have had is not an original one. I've seen this done countless and countless times where the weather will decide what your page number is for the day. The highest temperature that you get decides how many pages you're going to be reading for the day. And I want to start that tomorrow. Tomorrow is Friday, so I want to go from Friday to Friday and spend an entire week having the maximum temperature decide how many pages I'm going to read. One problem: I am European. We calculate the temperature in Celsius, and I am pretty sure that I can get like 19 or 23 pages read in an hour, not to mind in a day. So I'm gonna have to tweak it a little bit. Instead, I am going to translate it into Fahrenheit, and I'm going to see if I can get the top temperature read in page count. So every morning we're going to sit on this couch or at my desk, and I'm going to ask my home helper over there what the maximum temperature is in Fahrenheit, and whatever number is spat out, that is how many pages I'm going to be reading. I haven't yet decided what book I'm going to start with. There is a couple of options, but I know that I want to take something from my physical TBR. The main reason for that is obviously the ease of calculation. I know how many pages I'm going to need to read. I can visualize it, I can feel it, I can separate it out, and it's a lot easier to keep track of rather than if I am reading an ebook or if I am reading an audiobook. Let's have a good night's sleep. Let's prepare for the morning. And when I come back to you, I will have figured out what it is that I want to read. Hopefully. Today, the maximum temperature is 68 degrees Fahrenheit, which means I need to read 68 pages of Sex and Vanity by Kevin Kwan. This book is on my These Books Are Going to Self-Destruct list. It's one that's been on my shelf for a really long time, and it's one that I'm kind of interested in because I have read the entire Crazy Rich Asian series and I've really enjoyed it. So I'm hoping that it's going to have a kind of a similar energy, a similar vibe. It's by the same author. It's got all of the same kind of hallmarks of a family or people who are so rich they have no idea what to do with the money, but it's set in Capri, and I believe it's set in the Hamptons as well. 68 pages takes me all the way up to the beginning of chapter 8, but I think there's also a little kind of prologue starting before this book. So 68 pages plus the prologue. Let's go. Last night, I scraped in that 68 pages. It truly got it in the 11th hour, by which I mean I had finished page 68, turned around, taken a melatonin, and fallen asleep. But we did it. I got there. It is a very interesting story. I've heard that this is a retelling or a reimagining of A Room with a View, but imagine everybody has Instagram and everybody has access to money that you have never even thought imaginable to have. I have never read A Room with a View, so I am not going to pick up on the nuances, on the references, on any of the inside jokes that are there in that book. It's just not a world with which I am familiar. But I am enjoying Kevin Kwan's writing. I am enjoying the humor in that. I am enjoying the over-the-topness. Lucy, who is our main character, is in Capri at the moment for the wedding of her best friend Isabel to a son of an Italian count. She's there with Charlotte, who is her aunt, and Charlotte has very grand ideas of the world. While they are in Capri, they are approached by Rosemary and her son George. They've been complaining about how their room looks, how the view isn't exactly what they wanted. It doesn't look out onto the ocean, it looks out onto something like a courtyard. And when Rosemary and George overhear this, they offer to swap with Lucy and Charlotte. So now their room is going to have the ocean view, and it is also a massive, splendid suite rather than just a double bedroom. Something I've noticed, and I find it to be so of this world, is everybody is introduced with where they went to school. So it's not just, oh, this is George. This is George who went to this primary school. Then he went to this high school. And then he went to college. And then he did graduate school here. This is so typical of a world that puts such impact on class, on education, on background. This is exactly the kind of thing that I had expected from Kevin Kwan. So now that we have gotten yesterday's pages dealt with, let's see where it is that we need to go today. I have just looked it up. I've got a kind of a busy day ahead of me, but I'm hoping that I can get this one done. It's a little bit higher than where I was yesterday, but not by too much. Today's target is 75 pages. That's going to bring me somewhere around the 140s, 150s mark, just at the second page of chapter 15. I feel like that is doable if I break it into the little section of, oh, okay, it's only this much of the book that I need to read today. But tell me why that still feels so daunting. Hello, we're in bed. It's an appropriate place to start for the weekend. But I won't be staying here very long because my friend and I are going to have a full Irish in a cafe in Berlin. They're closing on the 3rd of August, but neither of us can do the following 2 weekends from now. So instead, I'm going to hop out. I'm going to take an hour-long train. I'm going to bring Sex and Vanity with me, and I'm going to get some more of this read. As discussed yesterday, I'm on page 143. I actually stopped on 142 because it was the start of the chapter. And that felt a little bit better to do than to read an entire page and then go, okay, bye. I am enjoying this so far. It's chaotic. It's very over the top with its richness. It's very much a world I will never even think about setting foot into. But everybody in this book is a little bit insane. The whole where I went to school is still being introduced as people come to you in the book for the first time. Even the Sultana of Penang was introduced with where she went to school. And I thought, okay, this is really a sign that people put so much emphasis on your education here. I think the end of the wedding chapter is nigh, because I know after this it's going to change to a couple of years in the future from this, and it's going to change to New York, because I know that this book is set in both places. I am intrigued to see how that's going to go. Lucy has kissed George. George has kissed Lucy. But neither of them really seem to be keen on sitting down and talking about what that means for them, and if they want to keep going with that, and if they actually are interested in one another, or if this is just some drunken impulse thing. I'm intrigued, but let's see where today brings us. I know today is hot. I know that today is going to be a big number, because today I think is about 27 or 28 in Celsius. So let's see where that brings me in Fahrenheit. I'm going to go ask her. Okay, I'm back. I've asked her. The highest temperature today in Celsius is 28 degrees. And at present, it's 78 degrees Fahrenheit. And that is a little bit over what we had to do yesterday. But the numbers keep going. The highest temperature today in Fahrenheit is going to be 83 degrees, which will bring me all the way up to page 226, which means I need to read 83 pages of this. This much will be read. This much will be left to go. Who knows? By tomorrow, perhaps, I might have this book finished.
Do you remember the day we first met? It was a Sunday.
Day 4, and we've hit a wall. Not only in terms of the amount of pages I'm actually getting read, but enjoyment of the book. Because I'm now on part 2, which is set in 2018, so about 5 years after part 1. And this is not as enjoyable as part 1 was. Part 1 was full of chaos, but also the excitement of the upcoming wedding. Part 2 has none of that. We're changing location because of how dark that was. I am not at 226 pages. That was yesterday's target. I'm not there, but I'm not like super far off. I'm at page 190. So not only do I have the pages for today to cover, but I also have 30-ish from yesterday to clock back up. Who would have thought that weekends were the time that I would have struggled and fallen behind on this one? But anyway, for day 4, I need to read 85 pages, as well as the 35 or 6 that I need to read for now. For day 4, I'm up to 100 and something. I think that will get me to finish the book, but I don't necessarily know if this is one that I'm enjoying.
Do you remember the day we first met? It was a Sunday about 2 p.m. You said you liked me, so we ditched our friends.
As for how I'm feeling about Sex and Vanity, even at this point of the book, it exists and I'm reading it. I much preferred part 1, as I've already said. Part 2 is really just slogging along. It's really showing that overindulgence and complete insanity that these people have, all connected to their bank accounts, and I'm just not gelling with it. And I'm also finding it really hard to sympathize with or to connect with Lucy, just because she's incredibly annoying at times, but also there's nothing that I'm feeling about her that I feel like I can sympathize or associate with. I am going to keep going. This is one that if I hadn't read it, I probably wouldn't be too upset about kicking it off my self-destruct TBR, and I'm going to keep going with it, but it's just not really doing anything for me.
Do you remember the day we first met? It was a Sunday about 2 p.m. You said you liked me, so we ditched our friends. Went to the movies, that's how this began. When I'm with you, it feels like time lasts forever. And when you're with me, I hold you tight, hearts together. 'Cause when you look into my eyes, I'm in paradise. I'm crazy about you.
I didn't give you any updates yesterday, and that's on me being super busy. I had a full day in the office and also a team dinner yesterday, so I didn't really have a whole lot of opportunities to read. I had a little bit of time on the way, I had a little bit of time on the way back. Other than that, I didn't have like a lunch break on which I could read a book. I wasn't sitting at my desk trying to listen to an audiobook. There was none of that. So yesterday I was supposed to read 69 pages. I didn't quite. I got to about 48 pages because I'm on page 78 of Beg, Borrow, or Steal. I am a really big fan of Sarah Adams' writing. I really love the chemistry that she puts between her two characters. I really love the tension that she would put between her two characters, but she doesn't have to make it smutty. She doesn't have to make it steamy. And I think for me, that's the hallmark of a good author, that you can still make the book interesting and believable and gripping without having to put a sex scene into it. I really, really enjoy her books. This is the third book in the Rome, Kentucky series. It's following Emily, who is a sister of Noah and Annie from the two previous books. I really love the tension that she has got between herself and Jack. Jack used to work in the same primary school that Emily is working at. He moved away to Nebraska because he was in a relationship and his partner was from Nebraska and wanted to live there. But now that the relationship has broken down, he is back in Rome, Kentucky, and he has just bought a brand new house right beside Emily. And they hate each other. Now, this is written as a truly serious rivals to lovers. They cannot stand to be in the same room. They've argued over a table in a coffee shop. They've had people commenting on how much they don't like each other, which obviously means they're going to be together right before the half of this book is over. I am having such a great time with this one, but I don't know how much I need to read of it today. Yesterday, I should have read up to page 111, which would take me up to here. Like, that's a lunch break. I can get that done easily today. And then today's pages is 70. So that's going to take me up to 181. And that brings me all the way up to the start of chapter 16. This is actually page 181, but I'm going to end it when we get to page 179, so that we're right at the end of chapter 15. Today is a little bit less hectic So it seems doable, but let's see what I'm saying tomorrow morning. We're on the final day of this challenge, and it's truly the final push that I really need to push at, because I am so far behind where I actually wanted to be with this. Usually on Thursdays, I have a personal training session. That has been cancelled because my trainer is on holiday, so I'm just going to go to the gym regularly instead. I usually have a call with a friend of mine. She is busy for this Thursday, so that has also been moved. All I have to do today, work, go to the gym, read the book. I'm on page 108 when I should be on page 181. That is from yesterday. And today I need to read 75 pages. This challenge is kicking me down more than I expected it to. Something I'm learning about myself is even when I know I have a specific page count to read, even when I know I have set myself this target that I need to aim at, I'm doing literally anything else. I am sitting watching a TV show. I am on my phone. I am knitting. I'm not giving the time to reading that I know that I should be and that I want to be. There's definitely a disconnect here somewhere. I just don't know what the disconnect is. And I thought that picking up a book that I was excited about, I've loved Sarah Adams before. I've loved the other two books that are in this series. It's a genre that I really enjoy reading. So I thought, having picked up something that I know I'm going to enjoy, that would spur me on, that would get me over the line. And it hasn't. But all I have in front of me today is time. And I'm going to use as much time as that as possible to get as far into the book as possible. It's Friday evening. Challenge is done, and I am at page 181. That is about the start of chapter 13, and I finally, eventually got it done, somehow with the help of an audiobook. So I did get about 50 or so pages read yesterday, but I did also need some of the audiobook to bump me up a little bit more. That is something that doing this challenge has made me realize. When it comes to reading with my eyes, be that reading a physical book or be that reading an ebook, I tend to do almost anything except reading the book. I will go on my phone. I'll look up something on the internet. I will clean the house. I will do literally anything except reading the goddamn book. That is on having the attention span of a 3-year-old. It's definitely something that I need to correct. It's definitely something that has worsened over the last couple of years, and I was really hoping that doing this would bring me back around a little bit. Now, I did read a book and a half over the entire week, and for me, that's a pretty good pace. But it has also opened a lot of doors about things that I do that have definitely got to improve. Is that something that I think I'm going to be able to do in the future? Potentially. I don't know if it's something that I'm going to be able to do by myself. I might need to do something like a self-help book or something like a couple of podcasts or something like that that's going to help me get my attention span back in order. But a book and a half in the week is not bad. How am I feeling about Big Brother Steel? I'm actually enjoying it, but there are a couple of things that I'm not super in love with. There are a couple of things about Jack and Emily's relationship that are annoying me, and one of the main things is that Emily is really childish towards Jack. Some of the things that she is doing out of her hatred for him are just a little bit too juvenile, infantile, however you want to put it for me. Overall, it's a good book. Overall, I'm really enjoying the kind of I am sunshine for everybody except for you, and I'm really enjoying the kind of tension that Jack and Emily have got. I'm hoping it's going to build to something a bit more substantial in the next couple of chapters. Let's see how it goes. Also, from a little bit of the preamble of this book, I am pretty sure that this is going to be a little bit spicier than anything that Sarah Adam has written before. I am here for it. She has said that there are 2 chapters that you particularly want to avoid if you don't want to read the intimacy scenes. So I'm hoping that that's going to bring the fire up a little bit from what she's done previously. Let's just see how she gets it done. I will have my full thoughts on this in my July wrap-up, so you might have to wait a little bit longer before you can actually get my full thoughts on it, but so far, I'm having a time with it. what I've learned from this is that my attention span is completely shot. And if you are going to put your page count towards the weather, it's probably not a great idea to do it in Celsius if the entire temperature range is like the 15s to the 23s. But I had targets. I met some of them. I didn't meet most of them, but I gave it my best shot. Have you ever done something like this, or would you ever consider doing something like this to try and get your reading back in shape? If you'd love to leave me a comment but you can't think of anything you'd like to say, then just leave me one of the weather themed emojis. Don't forget to like and subscribe because I have new videos up every week. Now, get on out of here.